We welcome you to our first Coaches Show of the year. Here from Glory Days Grill, my name is Adam Pohl. Tonight, we've got a great program for you as we've got conversations with both head coaches of Mount St. Mary's basketball. On the women's side, Coach Brian Wooden, and on the men's side, head coach Jamie and Christian. We'll also have panel discussions with some of the players of the Mount women and men, so we hope you enjoy. So let's get our first Coaches Show started. My name is Adam Pohl. Welcome to Glory Days Grill. Joined now by the head coach of the Mount women's basketball team, and Brian Wooden. And Coach Wooden, you guys really at the end of the year finished strong, able to make the NEC tournament. And with that, I think it gives you a lot of momentum with so many returnees coming into this season.
No, I agree. We had a tough beginning to the conference season. We had an injury early on that we needed to adjust to. As the season went on, I think we started to gel. We got a lot better, found a lot of cohesion, and down the stretch went 4-3 in the last 7 to make the playoffs. So it was a good run. We're really excited about this year. I think we have a great nucleus back. I think we have 4 newcomers who are really going to make an impact to the program, and we're excited to get started.
Let's talk about that nucleus first, because last year you had a lot of new pieces playing in roles that they had not been in before. You also introduced the player that turned into your leading scorer, Alexis Carter, to the program, and she had an outstanding year.
Lex had a great year. And last year was a big year for a lot of players. You know, the previous 2 years we graduated 7 players who played a lot for us. So last year's juniors, Kayla Bates had a bigger role. Kathleen Belanger-Finn had a better role. Obviously, Lex came into the program, so we did some good things last year. Catrice Dixon had a bigger role. So we had a lot of players who were forced to make impacts really early.
And your team last year, I think they really grew offensively, but one thing I've noticed from your clubs over the years is that you just have a great half-court defensive approach, and I believe that you feel that you're going to have that once again this year.
I do. My assistants and I joke all the time because they're always defense, defense, defense. And I'm like, guys, we're solid defensively. Like, we were second in the conference in points per game.
Right.
So we're good. We were solid defensively. We were having trouble scoring points, you know. 2 years before that, the year we won 19 games, we were not as good defensively as we were the last 2 years, but we scored 70 points a game. We made a lot of shots. So we're in the process now of really trying to find ourselves offensively, trying to get some consistency in that area. Defensively, I love the way we've been defending in preseason. We kind of mix it up with our man and our zone. I think our zone really gives people fits. And last year we were second in the conference in forced turnovers. So we've done some good things on that side of the ball. This year, not only do we have to have shot takers, we have to have some shot makers.
Here with Coach Wooden as we get ready for this 2016-17 season of Mount St. Mary's basketball. And I know that you talked about turnovers, but limiting your turnovers is a huge aspect to this year. And it seems to me that you not only have depth in your backcourt as far as established players that were a part of that saw big-time minutes in handling the ball last year, but you also have some newcomers that fit that role.
We do. Taking care of the ball is going to be a priority for us. Again, the fewer turnovers you have, the more shots you get, the more opportunities to score the ball. So taking care of it's going to be a big thing. Finn, Kathleen, is going to be looked at to lead us in that area. We have a sophomore, Juliet Lawless, and then we have a freshman, Ashley White, who are the 3 of them are probably going to share point guard responsibilities. And taking care of the ball, handling pressure, getting us into our offensive sets is going to be a lot of responsibility on their shoulders.
Let's talk about some of these other new faces as well, because you've got a grad student that has entered the program, and she's a player that I think can really provide a scoring touch for you as well.
Yeah, Mikkel Johnson is a very good shooter. She's an offensive player that we're going to look to make an impact. Obviously, she's only going to be here for 1 year, so we're looking for her to really do some good things. She came for her freshman, sophomore year. She was at Rider University and made 83 pointers in 2 years.
Wow.
Her 1 year at Liberty, not as successful shooting the ball, but they run a very post-oriented offense, so she didn't get a lot of opportunities. Preseason this year, she's been lighting it up, so we're looking for her to add that Jen Carney, Jackie Brewer type of shooting consistency for us.
And also, as far as your freshman class, you're really excited about the athleticism that you guys have.
Without a doubt. Our three freshmen, Ashley White, Kayla Agatovich, and Katrina Chouvrant, are going to be three players I think over the course of their careers are really going to make an impact. Katrina is something we haven't had. She's a 6'3" post player. We haven't had that since I've been here. So having the height is a very, very good thing. She's been very impressive with her athleticism, the way she runs the floor, her defensive abilities. She's still a work in progress right now on offense, but that's to be expected. We're going to get her to where, hopefully, to where she needs to be. Kayla Agatovich is a 5'9" wing player who can really, she can do it all. I mean, she can score off the bounce, she can hit the three, she can create shots for herself and for other people. So, looking for her to make an impact as a freshman. And then Ashley White is a point guard who I think is really going to help us in terms of our offensive ability to run the ball and score in the half court. She's so quick. I don't know if there are many players that can keep her in front of them. So if she can get by people off the bounce, and I've been telling her all preseason, get to the paint, get to the paint, get to the paint. If she gets to the paint, she's going to draw defenses, and she's good enough to find that open player.
Now, obviously, a lot of your focus is on what you're able to do in conference play, but you've got an exciting non-conference schedule that's coming up. You're going to play some big-time D1 teams like Maryland, West Virginia, and Pitt. I know that you're excited as well. You've got a lot of home games also, and it all begins on November 15th with Morgan State. Yeah,
and we have a lot of local home games. We have Morgan State, we have Coppin, we have UMES, Loyola. So we have a good Howard, but we're at Howard. So we have a good local slate of good regional games for us. Our national schedule, like you said, Pitt, West Virginia, Maryland, it's lofty. It's lofty, and I know that. Maryland could be a top 5 team. They had #1 recruiting class in the country last year. West Virginia is always tough. Pitt's ACC, always a challenge. So we're hoping those games obviously get us ready for the conference, because we want to win every game, but it really doesn't matter what we do non-conference. We can be 11-0 in non-conference, and if we don't win our conference, we probably don't go to the NCAA tournament. So you have to win your conference, and that's what everything is geared towards.
Lastly, Coach Whitten, let's look out here. I mean, we've got the Mount family. I mean, this place is packed here at Glory Days. Isn't it neat to have everybody together like this before the season?
Without a doubt. It's great to do something like this. We haven't done something like this probably since my second or third year. They used to do a meet and greet, and it kind of went to the wayside. But having this and being able to get both men's and women's teams together in the public with our fan base it's exceptional. And the word of mouth is out there. Mount is exciting. Mount women's basketball, Mount men's basketball. It's a great. We put a great product on the floor, and it's great to have the support that we do from the local community.
Well, folks, that's head coach of the women's basketball team, Brian Whitten. Thank you so much for being with us here tonight.
Adam, thank you, and get ready for a great year, Mount.
We welcome you back here to Glory Days Grill, as this is our meet and greet, getting ready for the 2016-17 season. Now joined by two seniors on the Mount women's basketball team, Alexis Carter and Kayla Bates. And Alexis, let's talk about that first as we start with you. As being a senior, what is it like to be a senior in school? It's got to be a transition knowing that this is your last journey through a basketball season here at the Mount.
Yeah, it's a bittersweet moment. I'm really excited, but I'm also kind of sad that, it's coming to an end. But I'm not trying to look at the end right now. I'm kind of focused on this season and getting a championship, honestly.
And you guys finished so strong last year going into the conference tournament. It has to give you a lot of confidence going into this year.
Yeah, I actually have more confidence than ever at this moment, honestly.
Tell us about your growth as a basketball player growing up. Were you always such a natural scorer?
Not at all. That took maturity, confidence, and knowing what your team needs of you. So, no, I don't think I was always a natural scorer, no.
And, of course, this is your second season here in the lineup for the Mount. So you're working with many players that you were able to work with last year. Does that continuity help you? Do you feel like you guys are further along at this point, getting ready for the season this year than you were last?
Yeah, I think in practice every day, everyone's pushing each other to do better. So the competitiveness is really high at this point. So we're just trying to make each other better, honestly.
And also, I know that one of the main things that there's a lot of excitement about your team is depth. And last year, I know you were on the floor for a long time. You had to play big-time minutes. You may have to do so again this season, but it seems like there's a few more players that Coach Witten can go to try to bring you guys towards victories this year.
Yeah, we're really guard-heavy this year, so that'll help with substitutions in the long run, coming off the bench and maintaining that momentum that we need throughout the game.
Well, thank you so much, Alexis. I know this is your favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
Alexis does not like the spotlight. Kayla, let's talk to you here for a second. And Kayla, for you guys, as far as you've been with this program for years now, so you've seen this rise, and to be a team that really seems to be taking a step forward in your senior year has to be a great feeling.
Yeah, it's definitely a great feeling. I mean, we've worked so hard, and obviously the senior class, you know, the leadership is there. We're doing everything we can to help our underclassmen and, you know, keep the momentum going and the energy.
And for you, energy, I think, is a big part of your game. You were a player that last year saw so many more minutes than you had before. You were able to provide an outstanding three-point shooting touch, but also a great defensive energy that really led this team. And I know you got to be excited to do the same again this year.
Yeah, definitely excited about that. You know, being a senior, I need to bring the energy every single day to practice. You know, keep the girls up, and I'm really excited for the season, and, you know, just to bring that spark.
And there's a new crew, you know, coming here with this Mount St. Mary's women's team. So tell us a little bit about the freshmen.
Freshmen are doing a great job. You know, they're doing really well. They're competing with us. You know, I think they're definitely going to bring us some solid minutes this year, and I just think they're doing a great job.
I want to talk about your growth a little bit as a player. Tell us about where you were coming into the Mount and where you are now. What is the part of your game that you feel has improved the most?
I think my ability to score, especially my three-point game. You know, I grew a lot in, you know, it was confidence. I think it was a confidence thing, and just knowing that my teammates needed me to score, and I was able to do that.
Are you excited? Look at this non-conference schedule. You're going to play three big schools, big D1s, including University of Maryland, West Virginia, and Pitt. You also have a lot of home games this year against kind of rivals that are in the area. It just seems to be a non-conference schedule that's got a lot of excitement.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, I love playing those big teams. You know, they're going to help get us ready for our conference schedule, but, you know, it's fun to go out and compete, and looking forward to, you know, the home games. I think we're going to have some really good non-conference games that are winnable games, so I'm excited.
And lastly, last year you guys finished very strong to be able to get into the NEC tournament, but this year I think you've got higher, more lofty goals, not just what you can do in the tournament, but the ability to be a top 4 team in the league, be able to play at home throughout the conference tournament. Do you think that's attainable?
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, I think, you know, with our upperclassmen this year, I think we have a lot of depth. I think we're going to be able to come in strong, start the season strong, and keep it going throughout the entire season. So I think, you know, we have a lot of high expectations for the season.
Well, folks, that was Kayla's second interview. Kayla, you're making it happen, huh?
I'm trying, you know. I need to get a job.
Thank you so much, Alexis and Kayla. We're really excited. The Mount women's basketball team, make sure to be at their home opener. It is on November 15th. Morgan State will be in town at Knott Arena. So we welcome you back here to Glory Days Grill as we get ready for this Mount 2016 and 2017 season. Coach Jamie Christian is with me. And Coach Christian, I know that this is that time of year. You're getting ready to get this all kicked off and get started. And it's interesting because you had a great senior class last year. You had guys like Greg Graves, Taylor Danaher, your leading scorer, BK Ash, is now not with the program anymore. So people will ask questions with so many new faces to this team, how you guys can excel. But I know you have a lot of confidence that you can do that.
Well, you know, I just look back at our history. In our history, when we've had some guys graduate like that, we've really played pretty well. You know, when you got freshman guys, we got a freshman year ago, Elijah Long, who played a ton of minutes for us. Right. Thought he was one of the best point guards in the league through the course of the year before injury came upon him. And you have Junior Robinson, a junior guard who can score with anybody in the country. And I think people that are underrated within our roster, Chris Ray, Maldo Sala, these guys are really special talents. Greg Alexander is an addition as well. Mm-hmm. So I'm really excited for a chance to coach this team. We've recruited really well in the last few years, and it's really a collection to have a lot of talented players and personalities on one group.
This is interesting because in the first few years of the program, you were still building it into your mold. You didn't have your players. Now here you are, you're in the 5th year of your program, and you've got a team that is essentially your team. That's got to be a great feeling.
Well, it's a tremendous feeling. You know, number one, the best feeling is having enough time to field a team how you want it to be played. And I'm really excited about that. I think our ability to shoot the ball from certain positions is going to be better than maybe it's ever been. I think our quickness at the guard spot is going to be very exciting. You know, you talk about Mount basketball in our history, it's always centered around the guard position and how well those guys can play in the backcourt. So I'm excited to have a backcourt that has experience with one another. The last time I was here with experience backcourt like this, it was when we had Rashard Wack and Julian Norfleet, and I think we turned out pretty well.
Yeah, that team, of course, went to the NCAA tournament. As, of course, Jamie and Christian with me. This is our first Mount Coaches Show of the year. And let's talk a little bit more about that backcourt, because you play such an up-tempo and aggressive style that having that depth is ever so important. And also not just depth as far as guys that can give you minutes, but a multitude of guys that can handle the ball, and you have that this year.
Oh, we've got 6 tremendous guards. You know, 2 guys that are Khalid Nwandu and Charles Glover have a ton of experience, and they've really played in big games for us and played well in the past. You know, obviously the aforementioned guys of Elijah Long and Junior Robinson. But then you go on, we have a couple freshmen, Randy Miller and Miles Wilson, that you throw in there, and suddenly you got 6 guards that are competing for 4 spots, and it's a tremendous opportunity for someone to really help our team move forward. And the guard spot, I mean, our quickness there and our size is pretty special. You know, especially when you went out there one of the smallest guards in the country, a junior. The other 5 guys have great size, great length, and tremendous athleticism. And so it's going to be a real great combination of different kind of styles of play at the guard spot.
When you talk about size and athleticism, one player comes to mind, though, and that is Chris Ray. I mean, has to be, let's put it this way, I think he's the most unique player in the NEC. I think you might say the country, but he's a guy that grew so much from year 1 to year 2 in the program. I'm excited to see him now as we enter what is his junior year. Have you seen similar growth?
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, Chris Ray, you know, at 6'8", you know, a year ago I was joking, he was the 3rd point guard, the starting 4 man, the backup center, and so I don't know if many guys have that kind of versatility. And I think the biggest thing that he brings is his level of enthusiasm and his motor for the game. It's truly special. You know that anytime that shot goes up on the offensive end, he's going to have an opportunity to get his hands on it. You know, you look at him as a guy who can get 7 rebounds for you a game, 4 offensive rebounds. Who can also get 3 steals and a couple blocks, and just brings that great excitement to the game. And so, you know, the largest thing for him and his growth is just continue to work on his ball handling, because he's a tremendous playmaker. And he's a guy who played point guard in high school. And so we're really trying to put our offense around a guy like that, where he can make some plays for guys like our guards, because he can really deliver the ball as a passer as well as play above the rim. And so it's been exciting watching him really, I don't want to say expand his game, but watching him continue to improve on that part of his game, because we can definitely utilize that within our offense.
Now, we talked about some of the players that have left the program, and of course, when you talk about Greg Graves, Taylor Danaher, they were big pieces of your team down low in the post, not just last year, but really for the last 3-4 years. So replacing them is going to be tough, but I know that you feel very confident that you have the guys that can fill those roles.
Oh yeah, we're really excited. Maldo Sala, one of the hardest workers I've ever had in any program I've been in. You know, a year ago, had a back injury and missed some time and really hurt us. But before then, he was getting 20 rebounds in our inter-squad scrimmages and playing really well. And he's a tremendous shot blocker. You're looking at a guy who's 6'8" with a 7'3" reach. He's going to really give us shot blocking and athleticism in that back line, which when you're a pressing and trapping team, you need a little bit of intimidation back there. And, you know, a year ago we had Chris Ray, now we're adding Maldo in there. You know, it's a really special group of guys with those 2 guys and how well they play together. But I'm excited for Maldo. People haven't had a chance to see how talented of a player he is and how versatile a player he is. Able to knock down outside shots, finish at the rim, that he brings a nasty streak to us that we really need and we haven't had here in a while. And so I'm really excited for him to get the opportunity to get out here and showcase all the things he can do.
Now, another new face for Mount fans to get excited about is, of course, Greg Alexander. And he's a player, when you look back, especially at your tenure here with the Mount, transfers have been big for you. Rashard Wack, Sam Prescott stand out probably above the pack. Is this a Sam Prescott type player?
Well, you know, I think Greg Alexander is really unique. You know, first of all, you know, he's a guy who we recruited really heavily out of high school, and he was the #1 player on the board coming out of high school, and we're hoping for an opportunity to get him. He chose East Carolina over us, which is a good grouping for us to be in through the course of recruiting. Right. You know, and then on the bounce back, he wanted to come here he really called us and said, Coach, I want to come to the mountain. That's where I should have gone in the first place. So it really shows a stretch in our recruiting, where we're recruiting high enough level athletes and doing it well enough that they're thinking about us when they're going to transfer. And so that's an exciting portion for us here at the Mount. And so it's very different from Sam Prescott. His game, because he's such a good outside shooter, and so that's really one of the best parts about his game. And then he has tremendous athleticism. So the combination is really special and unique. And so we're just trying to make sure we put all those pieces together. I'm a big believer in him and his ability to play, his poise as a player, and his overall hunger. It's really special. I think it fits in perfectly with our program, and I think he's going to have a lot of exciting plays this year, above the rim and behind the three-point line.
Another guy that we talk about behind the three-point line, I know in his growth in his game, I've seen more of it on the defensive side, and Will Miller was a guy that really in his freshman year, you would see him get overpowered down in the paint. He'd have to guard a four quite often, and he was just more of a guy that would extend that on the offensive end, step out and hit the three from the corner. But he's a guy that can hold his own down there now.
Well, he's really worked on it. He's actually grown 2 inches since being here, so he's just under 6'7" now. So he's got a little bit better size, really starting to grow into his body athleticism-wise. And I think just getting that experience. I mean, I think we all forget, he's a guy who only played 1 year of varsity basketball in high school. And so, when he came in here as a freshman, we really wanted to utilize his best skill, which is his outside shooting. And we just wanted to continue to work on those other parts of it. He's a guy who's really bought into film study and understanding what the other team wants to do. And he's done a great job positionally. And you look back at the game against St. Francis, New York last year in the playoff, really locking down their inside guys when they try to go inside to him. And so he's a guy that I don't worry about defensively. I think he just does an outstanding job there. And we just got to continue to bring along the other guys, because we know what Will's going to give us. We know when it's a big game, he's going to be ready to knock down outside shots. And we know he's always going to show up when the lights are really bright.
Give us a rundown of some of these freshmen, because there's a lot of other new faces. I know that you see where the Mount is here in this DC-Baltimore area as a big-time asset, because this is an incredible prep area for basketball. And I don't know if people nationwide really know just how good the DC-Baltimore area is. And you've been able to pull in a few more players from the area, and you've even gone halfway across the globe also. So it's not just looking here around the Mount.
Yeah. Well, I think it's really important. We're in such a great area for basketball. I mean, it's one of the best areas in the country when you look at recruiting-wise, and we've got to do a great job here. When you look at the history of the Mount, they've always had a lot of talented players from the area. When they've been good, when they've been bad, they haven't. And so we've continued to make that a major focus for us. And, you look up north, we go to Trinity High School, we get a guy named Jack Vukovic, 6'9", outstanding outside shooter with tremendous athleticism. He's a guy we got to keep bringing along strength-wise, but his future is really bright. You don't see a lot of players like him in the NEC, and the way we've been able to develop players over time, I can't imagine where he's going to be at 2 or 3 years from now. And then you go about 45 minutes to Westminster, where we bring in a guy named Ryan Gomes, a guy we offered as a sophomore, and a guy we wanted to be able to be attractive enough to keep him home, even though he had a lot of interest from A-10s and CAAs and Little Big East. And he's a tremendous player. He comes in the door at 6'10", 235 pounds. There's not a lot of guys walking around the NEC at that size as freshmen. Not a lot of guys walking around a lot of leagues at that size. And he's just done a great job working with Coach Will Holland on understanding the nuance of the game, developing some physicality and some touch around the basket. But we really believe in him, his ability to make plays for us. I love that trio. I love him as an addition to that trio of post guys we have, with Jack's ability to shoot the ball. And then we travel about an hour to Baltimore. And when you go into Baltimore, you want to really recruit the best schools in Baltimore. Right. And you go right to Mount St. Joe. Year after year, they've had a tremendous basketball program. Pat Clatchy there does an unbelievable job developing toughness and great players. And we're able to get Miles Wilson, sneak him out of there at 6'5", able to play the 2 guard in the 3 position for us. Really going to be a fantastic player for us, and can score the ball, get to the front of the rim. He's going to make some highlight plays coming off the bench for us this year. Just got to continue to bring him along as we do all our freshmen. Randy Miller, one of the best scorers a year ago in the Baltimore Catholic League. His ability to get to the front of the rim and make outside shots is truly special. And so you bring in those guys. You got 4 guys right there from within an hour of campus. Yeah. They would say you're doing your job. And then you go and you find a guy from Perth, Australia, who's at Sunrise Academy, and Jonah Antonio, who I think is just the best shooter in the country. And, we're hoping to have a chance for him to play for us this year. If not, his future is going to be so bright. Again, quite simply, I believe he's the best shooter in the country. And I've coached guys like Troy Daniels, who play in the NBA, and I've coached some outstanding shooters. I believe he's as good as any.
How about that? That is that's some high praise there, Coach Christian. And here we are. We're a few weeks away from the start of this season, and the first month is quite a gauntlet. You've always wanted to play the best, put your program against the cream of the crop. You're doing it again here this year.
Well, that's the name of the game. If you're a competitor, you want to line up against the very best night in and night out, and you want to see where you stand. 5 years in this program, I just have such a great belief in our program that we're able to withstand any kind of the gauntlet that we're going to go through. Going to play against some great head coaches and play in some tough environments. But that's what Mount basketball is about. It's about challenging yourself every single day, getting yourself outside your comfort zone. When these guys committed to us, we committed to make sure we gave them an environment where we did those things, and we're going to continue to do that year in and year out. This year is just another opportunity for us to knock off a couple big boys.
Well, Coach Christian, thank you so much. Great to have you with us here, and a lot of fun here to be. How about having this crew here at Glory Days Grill? This is something.
Well, it's tremendous. I mean, it's a huge step. Big thanks to Kevin Robinson and Bob Brennan, Lynn Robinson, their support of our program, and everyone working behind the scenes to make these things happen. We're always constantly trying to find ways to grow basketball within our community here at the Mount. That's what our history has told us we should do, and we've done a great job of that. And so I'm just really proud to be a member of this community here where we can have great turnouts like this, and our guys can see that they're part of a much bigger thing than just Mount basketball. They're really part of a family and a fraternity that's going to last them for a long time.
Folks, Jamie and Christian here, head coach of Mount St. Mary's basketball. Thank you so much, Coach. As we continue here with our Meet the Team event here at Glory Days Grill. All right, it's time for our final panel of the night as we welcome a trio of Mount men's basketball players with us. We've got senior Will Miller, we've got Chris Ray, and Elijah Long here to my right as we get ready for, once again, this 2016-17 season of Mount basketball. We're here at Glory Days Grill in Frederick. Let's get it started with Will. Senior year. Can you believe it? I mean, we're already there. Obviously, get started with a bang, getting to the NCAA tournament for you, and you've got to be excited about taking this journey one final time and trying to get back there to the pinnacle.
Right. It's gone extremely quick. It's been a great ride. Each year I feel like, guys have really given it all. And this summer I thought, we had a group that was just relentless and wanted to get better every single day. So I think right now that's helping us, and we can see, how our improvement in the summer is benefiting now. So I'm excited with the group we have, and I'm excited for senior year.
Because of how hard you guys work physically getting ready for a season, over time, I think it has really helped you on the defensive side of the ball at being able to grow physically and be able to defend down in the post. Have you seen that growth in your game?
Yeah, I have. I think it's just a maturity factor. Freshman year, a lot of guys come in not as strong, obviously, and, everyone needs to put on some weight. And so I think each year I've grown a good bit physically, and I think it's helped me guard different players in the post, and so I think that's helped a lot. We're always lifting, year-round we're lifting, and while we're lifting, we're also conditioning as well. So we're kind of, we're getting the best of both worlds. We're getting strong, but we're also getting quicker, as we're doing it. So I just think my physical development over the past couple of years has helped me in a lot of ways.
Now, you're not the only senior, of course, on this squad, but you've been in a program with some great leaders. Julian Norfleet comes to mind. Last year, Greg Graves. Now in this senior role with a lot of new players on this team, it's got to be interesting to see yourself in that mold.
Right, it is. Like you said, I've had some great leaders. My freshman year, Julian, and then Greg and Taylor over the years. They helped me a lot. So it's really a big step for me, as long as Chuck and Lid, to really take some of the younger guys and just share some of our experiences with them, and tell them how they can improve each day, and how they can just do better and help the team win.
Well, thank you, Will. We're excited to watch you play here in this your senior season.
All right, thank you.
Let's talk to Chris Ray now. And Chris, this last year had to be such an exciting year for you because of the amount of playing time you were able to have. And now seeing how your game adapted and really how it played at this level, what have you worked on coming into this season, your junior year?
Really what I worked on is just basically being more physical, just being ready to go mentally. It's on and off the court, different things, but mainly, I just worked on what they need me to do, just the same as last year.
And I know last year one of the big things that you worked with with not only Coach Christian, but many of the assistants, was being more aggressive, even taking the ball, dribbling it in, getting after it, running the baseline, and you possess so many unique attributes that allow you to do that, and I'm sure you're going to be doing that again this year.
Coach is giving me a bigger role, so yeah, I mean, I've been put in more situations this year where I will see the ball, but once again, I'm just going to do whatever they need me to do.
One of the big things that you provided last year was excellent offensive rebounding. I mean, you were a player that really attacked the offensive glass. On the defensive side of things, do you see your rebounds, though, also kind of taking a step up to kind of match what you were able to do on the offensive side last year?
Yeah, we talked about that a lot, me and the coaches, and that's something I plan on working on this year, making an improvement on.
We joked a little bit about how you're such an incredibly uniquely gifted athlete, and one of the unique things that you did last year was actually shot free throws with both hands, which is something that I know not many people probably throughout the country did. I know you've worked on it here this year, and with the type of game you play, you're probably going to get to the line very often.
Yes, I mean, this year I'm probably going to stick to shooting with my left, but I mean, I still from time to time will shoot with my right in practice, just to make sure I still got it.
I also think, lastly, that it's very interesting that a lot of people don't see you as a player that can actually put it on the floor and take it to the basket, but that's a big, big part of your game.
Yes, I mean, it's the way people describe my game. They say it's awkward but effective. So I mean, I'll just go with that.
Well, Chris, you're Mr. Highlight Reel. We look forward to seeing some of those great moments at Knott Arena once again this year.
Thank you. I just hope for a successful season.
And now let's talk to Elijah, as thank you very much, Chris. And Eli, you saw so much growth in your game as a freshman last year, and I think especially when you hit conference play, you had to really feel that your game really translated here to this Division I level.
Yeah, honestly, when I first came in as a freshman, Coach Christian kind of made it easy for me. He said I'm going to make mistakes. He said I'm going to mess up, but he just said play through it. And I had a lot of veterans on my team last year, so they knew I was going to mess up. And they just said keep on going through it. When you hit adversity, just keep on pushing through it. So that's what I did last year.
And now, with many freshmen as a part of this team this year, how are you able to kind of turn that and help them in making that progression like you did?
I mean, two freshmen that came in this year, Randy and Miles, I actually played against them since I was a sophomore in the high school because they're in the same league I was in. So that connection right there, like those are guys, my young boys. So like that connection is kind of easy. I could tell them what to do and they'll listen because they know I'm doing it for the best of their abilities. But we have other freshmen like Ryan, Jonah, and Jack, and they came a long way. They came here summertime and got in the gym. And honestly, just the biggest thing I told them is just be an open book to everyone and be a sponge and just take in everyone's thoughts and concerns and just put it on the court.
For you, playing with such a deep backcourt, how does that help your game?
Oh, it makes my job a lot easier. We had a couple of scrimmages, and me, honestly, when I come off the ball screens, I don't have to be aggressive if I don't want to because I have Junior. I don't have to be aggressive because I have Jonah or have Ray or Lid or Chuck on the wing. So I know they're able to make plays just like how I am. So I trust them with the ball just like how they trust me. So it takes a lot of pressure off of me.
You're going to play an incredible non-conference schedule here this year. Now, Mount St. Mary's, compared to other teams in the Northeast Conference, usually plays a tougher non-conference schedule than others, but this one is almost at another level, even from last year. But one game stands out, I'm sure, to you, and that's the ability to play against your brother who plays at Iowa State.
I mean, I never dreamt of playing him on a big stage like that, but I mean, it's a dream come true, and I thank God. And we talk about it literally every day. We don't know how we're gonna see each other. We don't know what's gonna go on. I might cry. We don't know. So, I mean, it's gonna be a lot of emotion. My family's gonna be out there, and I mean, I thank the coaching staff here, and I thank the coaching staff at Iowa State for getting that game on the schedule. And end of the day, he's my brother, but once we step on the court, he's not really my brother at that point. So, that's how I see it.
And Eli, what about this? This is really a great gathering of the Mount men's team, Mount women's team, coaches, staff, but also some of the great fans playing at Knott Arena. You got to play throughout the entire NEC. I've been able to travel it over the last 4 years with you guys, and there is nothing like Knott Arena, playing here in front of your home court, and you know that now, going through the gauntlet for a year.
Yeah, honestly, when Coach said, "Oh yeah, it's mayhem and like it gets crazy in here," you know, I was just like, okay, you know, like I understand that. But then a few games in, I was like, yo, it's really crazy, and like it's just the way we play and the aura we have when we're trying to come back when we're down like 10 or something like that. It's you can't really describe it. You got to really be on the court to describe, like to feel what we're feeling on the court. So yeah, the Knott Arena is a great feeling when you play.
Well, Elijah, thank you so much for your time, and we're looking forward. This is going to be a fun season.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Folks, let's give an applause here for our trio of men's basketball players. And that's going to do it here for our program today. Thank you for listening in and watching us as well on YouTube as our coaches show, our first one of the year, has come to a close. Want to say a big thank you to our players today, Alexis Carter and Kayla Bates on the women's side, also women's head coach Brian Whitten, and on the men's side, Chris Ray, Will Miller, and also Elijah Long, and head coach Jamian Christian. Once again, my name is Adam Pohl. This has been the Mount St. Mary's Coaches Show, and we hope to see you at the Mounts opener on November the 5th when the men take on Hood, and then for the women on November 15th when Morgan State comes to Knott Arena.